Hey guys, you're watching PhoneArena's in-depth video review of T-Mobile's version of the Samsung Galaxy S, the Samsung Vibrant. We all remember back in the fall how the Samsung Behold 2 was expected to be a top-end phone for Samsung in the Android market. Unfortunately, it wasn't a compelling device for consumers to grab up. But this time, the Samsung Vibrant's looking to supplant it and even do more as far as Android goes on T-Mobile's lineup, as it boasts a lot of neat features and also just one compelling device that has plenty to look forward to. Out of all the versions launching in the US, the Samsung Vibrant actually remains faithful to the European GSM version, except for the fact that it's missing the front-facing camera and doesn't offer the physical hardware button, and the branding's a little bit different to Galaxy S as opposed to Samsung on the European GSM version. But the design is practical and also comfortable. It's constructed out of mostly plastic. It feels pretty durable, and you have the chrome bezel, which accents the handset nicely. On the rear, it has the same exact pattern design. It's very lightweight thanks to the material, so you don't really feel it, and it's very streamlined. It might not be innovative in terms of design, but it's quite practical, as we said. By far, the biggest feature on the Samsung Vibrant is its gorgeous 4-inch Super AMOLED display, which actually employs a WVGA resolution, 480 by 800, and support for 16.7 million colors. And it's safe bet to say that the colors are rich and vibrant, sometimes can be a little bit overly saturated, but it's going to be very pleasing to anyone who looks at it. It also has some great viewing angles, so if you're looking at every angle, you'll be able to see what's on screen. Although it's touted for being able to use outdoors in direct sunlight, you still have a tendency to actually use your hand to shade it. Right below the touchscreen, you have touch-sensitive buttons being used on the handset. There's some good distance between the bottom of the handset, so you don't accidentally press it as much. On the left-hand side, you have the volume rocker, kind of a little bit not as tactile as we would have liked. Same thing goes to the dedicated power button on the right side. On the top, you have the 3.5mm headset jack, and underneath this sliding latch here is the micro USB port. And on the back, you have the 5-megapixel autofocus camera, no flash though, speakerphone notch, and removing the back cover, you just gotta yank it off. And you're going to be treated to access to the battery, SIM card slot, and micro SD card. Thanks to its 1 GHz Cortex A8 Hummingbird processor, moving about the platform, navigating is pretty smooth, very fluid. There are some instances of lag, but it's very minor when you have a lot of widgets and also an animated wallpaper running. But just moving about the home screen, launching different applications, you could tell that it's pretty smooth and very responsive, and is definitely up there as far as Android is concerned. The interface is TouchWiz 3.0 running on top of Android 2.1, just like the Samsung Captivate and also the original GSM version. There are a lot of neat different widgets that you could use, specific ones made from Samsung exactly. There's a bunch that you could utilize, as we said. There's things like the feeds and updates that aggregates all your social networking accounts in one spot. And there's even also something called the daily briefing, which gives you some pertinent information right on the home screen, such as weather, stocks, and even some news. But overall, it's a nice and refreshing different look as far as Android goes in the US market, and we're pretty sure that a lot of people will take it very easily to heart and use the platform. Now, what makes the Samsung Vibrant different from the other versions of the Galaxy S launching is the fact that it includes James Cameron's Avatar movie. You also have specific apps like the Kindle app, Layer, and even Mobi TV right from the start. And you also get 1 month free of GoGo Internet access. And you also have the Sims 3 Collector's Edition, which is exclusive to T-Mobile. And finally, there's a 2 GB micro SD card package with the handset. The internet browsing experience is what we expect out of this version of the Galaxy S. It's very fast, very fluid. You have pinch to zoom or double tap to zoom into. We like how its overall responsiveness, and there are some elements like flashlight that enable, which provide you a pretty good desktop-like experience. There's no arguing that the Samsung Vibrant's gorgeous 4-inch Super AMOLED display would have any problems playing videos. Pretty smooth, very fluid, and there's no evidence of any lag whatsoever. We like the colors and the fact that it's very saturated. There's a lot to like about the music player that's found in the Samsung Vibrant, as it's somewhat refreshing versus others out there on Android. You have your album cover with some functions on screen. You can move through different songs by doing some swiping gestures. And you could even put it into landscape view, where it presents you this cover flow-like interface. It has a lot of nice 3D effects. And volume from the speaker was more than adequate, very powerful tones emitted by it. Image quality produced by the Vibrant's 5-megapixel autofocus camera was average at best. You just simply tap the screen to focus and you press the shutter key to take the shot. Unfortunately, detail was pretty much average. Colors were a little bit on the softer side, and when you take shots indoors, it had a tendency to have some noise to it and not the best of detail, but should suffice for most people out there. The Samsung Vibrant has a capture rate of 29 frames per second in 720p, which is good enough for a lot of people who love taking videos. As you can see here, just the video we took, it's pretty smooth, but with fast-moving objects, there's a tendency to be some jerkiness to it, but it's not that bad at all. It lacks also automatic focus, so if you zoom in an object or an object moves far away, you're still presented with the same focus level. Calling quality on the Samsung Vibrant wasn't the best at all. Our callers did say that our voice did sound somewhat muffled on their end, and we did hear some static sound on our end on this earpiece. But when we switched to the speakerphone, it did provide some ample tones, but there was some echoing to be heard. Battery life is superb and makes it one of the great features about the handset. We set to automatic brightness and used it heavily for one day and only dropped 50%, and we'd imagine it could probably go up to at least 2 days before requiring a charge. We did find that signal strength though at the same location versus other T-Mobile phones, it had generally 1 bar, but it didn't really drop any calls or degrade the overall quality on the handset. Pretty much the sour aftertaste left by the Samsung Behold 2 is pretty much gone now that the Samsung Vibrant is here. We love its impressive hardware, specifically the gorgeous Super AMOLED. It just makes everything look pretty beautiful to the eye, especially colors that are rich with saturated tones. We also like the fact that the 1 GHz Cortex-A8 Hummingbird processor makes everything fly by really quick on the handset. And this neat feature specific to this version, like the Avatar movie, is a much refreshing look versus the other handsets. Overall, we're pleased with the Samsung Vibrant as it's a compelling device for just about any customer on T-Mobile, and will definitely prove to be a great hit this summer. So if you'd like to learn more about this handset or for all the latest cell phone reviews, news specs, and information, you can check us out at PhoneArena.com.